The revolution has been broadcasted. Hi, you guys. How you doing? It's your good, friendly old photographer and disabled gay man, Bobby Bruck. How you guys doing today? Well, I wanted to share with you something old in my life that came back in my life. This is the Diana F Lomography camera, and this is one of the earlier model cameras. It actually has a Instax Mini back on it. Now, Lomography today is incorporating the Diana and the back into one single camera. This can be took off, the Instax back can be took off the camera, and you can run regular 120 film right through it. And anyways, it's a toy camera. And toy cameras are what I'm notoriously known for. I do photography, and then I do photo art. This gets me back to the basics where I focus solely on the subject matter. Yes, this is Instax film. But I'm going to confuse you. How did I take a tiny Instax Mini and produce an Instax Wide? See that? From this. It's simple, folks. I scanned it. And then I reprinted it. This is a very limited edition Cling to God. It is an abstract. It is a statue here in Midtown of an angel clinging to the cross. And then I took my artistic talents with my photography and camered it along with Photoshop and a bunch of other things. So I shot it with a toy camera on a smaller film, scanned it, ran it through Photoshop, and here's the end results. Now, there are only two, and I quote, two Instax Wide in existence, signed by me and titled. I do have 5 5x7 prints. They're also in existence that will be available for purchase in a limited edition. If you're interested in one of these prints, please contact me. I love art. There used to be a YouTube channel called the Mijanju Show. Mijanju lived in Japan, and Mijanju really loved lomography and Polaroid. And I've used different toy cameras. I've used Holgas, which I've got over here in the corner. I've used Sprocket Rockets. There you guys go. There's my Sprocket Rocket. I'm working on a project right now with my Sprocket Rocket, which shoots 180 degree angle. I'm running around the various gay bars in Kansas City, and I'm doing just outdoor panoramics of the gay bars here in Kansas City. But that's a different project for right now. I may be a gay man, but I do cling to my God. And I go to an all-gay church. And so my spirituality, even though some people would condemn me for being a gay man, still means very much to me as a person of faith. And so this is the inspiration for Cling to God. My grandmama was in Wisconsin and here in Independence or the Kansas City area. We're very devout religious women. My grandma Bruckhouse in Wisconsin, she was a strong, devout Lutheran and missed very little church unless it was health-related issues. And my grandmama on my mom's side, the rock of my life, the woman that I loved the most, was a Southern Baptist and was a member for over 53 years. That's right. And so, yeah, I am clinging to what I love. I'm clinging to what I know is right. And that is a relationship with the person upstairs. You can condemn me to hell if you want as a gay man, but this is not about religion and this is not about gayness. This is just me being inspired to create an abstract of something that already exists through instant photography and digital to render this. Folks, this started on an Instax Mini, then was scanned and then brought into Photoshop, manipulated even further, and then printed back to an Instax. Now the 4 or 5 prints that I have, and I believe I printed 5, those are just straight to paper. Those will be of the full crop. Unfortunately, we are limited to what the Instax Wide can produce. But because the photo initiated is an instant print, I thought it was important to at least produce 2 of them, title them and sign them, print them, title them, and sign them. I'm sorry, I'm just emotional. Print them and title them and sign them. And these aren't for sale. Not at this time. I haven't. I may be displaying these. One in my church, which is an all LGBTQ church, and another somewhere else. That will be, I'm going to frame them. They're not going to be pretty frames because I want to expose the white border. I want it to look like an instant print. But these are not for sale. They will be shown probably in a local business here in Kansas City, a gay-owned LGBTQ business here in Kansas City, and in my church, which is an all LGBTQ church. Cling to God. But if you're interested in one of my actual prints, you can contact me through Instagram, direct message, Messenger, on Facebook, And I will also drop my email. I'll drop my email I'll drop my email on social media as well if you'd like to contact me for a copy of this print. Folks, I learned photography at a young age, and I know it sounds funny, but my love of real photography started once I understood that Andy Warhol was more of a photographer than he was a painter. You see, all of those silkscreen prints that became paintings all originated with a Polaroid. Polaroids are not known for the best quality lenses. They're not known for the sharpest. They're crappy cameras. And my creativity really shines using these plastic crappy cameras, whether it be my Diana, my Holga, my Sprocket Rocket, my Lomo sampler, what is the other one that I have? My fisheye. I have a Lomo fisheye. And I probably will be purchasing an FPP Debonair pretty soon as well. But these crappy cameras are really what inspired me, and I've got some very expensive camera equipment over here, and I'm contemplating on selling it. I'm 50 years old. I wanted photography to be a part of my life professionally, and I was never successful. Not like my cousin who I grew up admiring. But the success I've had in photography is from my art. And it wasn't by shooting expensive SLRs like this. It was using toy cameras. I sold this camera, and then fast forward a couple years later, I reached out to my buddy and said, "Can I have this back?" Well, we traded for some stuff, but yeah, I got it back. In videos to come, I will share with you, as you saw my Sprocket Rocket and you saw my Diana with the Instax back. I also have a Diana that has a 35mm insert back in it. That one hasn't arrived yet. I got that off of eBay, and that's on the way. Look, none of this stuff costs a lot of money. I mean, all for me, I have no budget right now. In fact, I don't have a job. I'm just hustling right now to make some money, doing various different projects and things like that to survive. But all of mine came from trades. Stuff that I'd once owned and got back, or thrift stores. You can buy a Debonair without the Instax Mini back, just the basic Debonair. This was produced in the late 50s, going into the 60s. It was also under the name Windsor and Banner. Look for the blue top. This camera was produced for many years. Lomography got a hold of it, reproduced it. This is the oldest instant version, but the new one is actually an entirely new camera with the Instax inside the camera. This is an accessory that comes off the camera. I could shoot 120 film through this if I wanted to. Probably won't. I saved my 120 for my Holga. So my Debonair, I have it in two versions. I have it in the Instax and a 35mm back attached to the other one. That'll be coming in the mail. But these didn't cost me anything. This is just a little trade, you know, I want something and I figure out a way to get it. And in this way, I traded some stuff that I was selling on eBay that I wasn't doing a very good job of representing and making any money off to begin with. So yeah, I traded a camera, a couple of cameras actually, and I got my Sprocket Rocket, my Diana Instant back with the Instax back, and I got the Diana Bible, which talks about the history of the Diana and how to use the Diana and how to be creative with the Diana. And then at the thrift store this last week, my Holga, I bought it for $5 with a crappy little secondhand flash. And then over at Half Price Books, they had the Holga Bible. It's just like the Diana Bible. It talks about the history of the camera, where it came from, where it was produced, how to be creative with it, blah blah blah. So I have the creative manuals for these books. I mean, for these cameras, the creative manuals or books for these cameras. And I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm just really struggling to know if I want to continue to, continue to shoot this way. I just don't know. I know that creatively, artistically, I've done my best work with crappy cameras, crappy fantastic plastic. Yeah, crappy fantastic plastic. That's right. So I've done my best work with that, and I may continue to go that way. Yes, I will leave the link in this video on social media. I'll leave an email, and you can also contact me from Messenger and on Instagram's direct message. Anyways, these two prints are not for sale, but will probably be seen around in the Kansas City area framed. I think one's going to my local coffee shop. Which is an LGBT coffee shop called Anchor Island. I'm hoping he'll let me put this up. Just hang it. And the other is going to my church, which I said is an all LGBTQ church. Guys, this picture has already been posted. These are just the Instax versions. Anyways, I just wanted to share this video with you. Get back to the basics. That's what toy cameras have done to me. I found like I had writer's block digitally. I was trying to produce digital photography to look like toy cameras. And I absolutely had writer's block, creativity wise. And that's why I got back into using toy cameras. Here's an example. Here's a Holga lens for a digital camera. It just wasn't the same. Film is real, and film is here forever for me. I'm 50 years old. I will probably be shooting film in some form or manner. Yes, I will scan it, manipulate it digitally, but there's just a raw aesthetic that I got out of this from shooting film to begin with, that no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get the same effect. And digitally, you plan what you want your image to look like. When you're doing this, you kind of arrive at the aesthetic. You really don't know until you see it. And I think that's the unique thing. Guys, continue to watch me and support me. I'd like to sell these. I would like to sell these copies. And like I said, there are 5 of them. I said 4 or 5, but I realize now that I have printed 5. There are 5 of them, and I would honestly like you to buy one of my prints. They are going to be printed on a very limited edition of no more than 5. I made up my mind. These aren't for sale, so these don't include. If you bend and twist my arm, maybe I could print one of these for you. But these would cost you a lot more. The others are just inkjet, would be just printed on the inkjet paper. And they would just be digital copies. But to get a real Instax version of this, it's going to cost you at least $100. Otherwise, these are the only 2 that ever will exist. In fact, I'll go out of my way. If you're interested in an actual Instax copy of this print, I'll do it for $100. So the 2 here will be limited to these 2 I will be gluing my business card to the back of it, and I will know that those are the original ones that were never sold. And then if I do another of these, I will title it and sign it, and I will also frame it. The inkjet copies will be 5x7. The best way to display those is I would do a 5x7, and then I would do a 5x7 to 8x10 mask, and then mount it in an 8x10 frame. I think it draws your attention to the image. Anyways, guys, if you're interested, please reach out to me. I'm unemployed right now, and I could honestly use the money. And if my talents can help me right now in this change of life that I'm going through, any and all help would be helpful. Thank you. Have a nice day.